My name is Marcus Alvarado. I'm a high school basketball coach in the state of Texas. I absolutely love what I do. I've seen firsthand the positive impact that coaches make on so many people's lives, especially the youth. And on Conversations with Coach, we're going to take some time out, get to know these coaches, and what is it about them that allows them to connect with our young people and develop these relationships and make such positive impacts. Today we're going to sit and talk to Coach Rodney Clark at Wagner High School and Coach Marc Gardner of Brandeis High School. I truly hope you enjoy.
Kid on the way.
Yeah, congrats on your good fortunes too.
I'm in the opposite boat. My daughter got a job up in Dallas, and my son's home from college. I'm ready for him to go back.
Rodney, how many does this make for you?
This will be, hold on, 4. I got one that's going to be a junior in college, one that's going to be a senior in high school, a 2.5-year-old, and then a newborn.
And the one in high school, she plays ball, huh?
Yeah.
She had a pretty good year?
Yeah, they were going to the state tournament too, and then everything got canceled, so that she didn't get to play hers either.
Wow.
Yeah. What, Mama? I know.
Well, I appreciate you guys hopping on. We won't be too long. This is just more of a session to kind of get to know you guys, get to know the coaches themselves. Ask a few questions that you guys just kind of casually have conversation and kind of go from there. I know
Sounds good.
To do. So
I don't know.
Did y'all see the news? Do y'all know what that means? The governor announced that.
Yeah, we're not going back to school.
Still doing distance learning, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I got to figure out how to get all their equipment back at some point. Well, I mean, because we practiced on that Thursday, and, they had all their uniforms, had everything, and then everything was canceled. I haven't seen them since besides Zoom.
You're talking about they have basketball equipment.
Yes. Yeah, I'm talking uniforms, practice gear, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
I got to figure out that too, because my guys, they had their game stuff, but I think all of them put it back in before they left, but I'm not sure. So then I got to get with the principal and see how we're going to do that. Because I know, like, on Wednesday, she goes up to the school. But, I mean, I don't know how it's all going to work.
Yeah. They got like $300 or $400 worth of equipment at their house that I need back.
Yeah, that's right.
We had just did inventory, washed everything, and then we were about to pass everything out after spring break, and then this happened. So we had everything in the closets folded up.
Where I'm at now, I do the opposite. I give them all beginning of the season, and then I don't see it again to the end. You're in charge of washing it. Leave me alone with it. It works out. I just always remind them about 5 times before every game which uniform to bring. But so I'm out of the washing business, but now that's killing me. We'd gotten most of our freshmen and JV stuff back, but even not kids that immediately went to football, I'm missing uniforms from them. That's a pain. Yep.
And see, we've lost stuff, and I take it back every game. That's what's crazy. They lost stuff in the tournament. There's one kid, he lost game short. And so, I don't know, it's crazy. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to tell them, hey, bring your stuff up there. I know for a fact that half of them probably will not. Yeah. So then what do I do? You know what I'm saying about that?
Knock it up to a loss, right? I mean.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, honestly, if some varsity stuff gets lost, I don't care. But varsity stuff, I want that back.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I got everybody else's stuff, varsity guys' stuff, and I need to get back.
Well, how you guys holding up during this whole thing? Personally, you guys, what y'all doing to keep yourself sane?
I've walked more times in my damn neighborhood this past couple of weeks than I did in the 14 years I lived here before that.
You can hear my mini-me in the background. That's what I've been doing. Hell.
Yeah. Well, who's taking care of your horses?
Me.
Do you live there on the same side, or you got to go out there and take care of them?
No, I got to go out. It's like 25 minutes away. I go out there sometimes and I sit out there as long as I possibly can just to get away, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that house all day. It's crazy.
Yeah, it gets old quick.
How many horses do you have?
2 right now. I got 2. I'll probably end up having to get another one sooner or later.
So just about this whole COVID thing, what were your first thoughts whenever this stuff got real serious and things started closing down? What was running through y'all's mind?
You want me to go first, Rodney?
Yeah.
All right. Well, you win the regional tournament, and everybody's super excited about that. And especially for us at our place, being the first time we'd ever done that. I mean, kids were fired up. So that next week on Monday, we didn't practice. We just had a meeting and we went over the schedule for the week and how everything was going to work. And I really talked about the atmosphere of state tournament, the excitement of everything. So we spent a lot of time talking about that. Then we watched some Duncanville video and went over some of that, and then had good practices Tuesday and Wednesday. Side gym just for the get used, even though we play there, but just to kind of practice with the arena style. And then Thursday was just a short kind of wrap everything up practice, because our plan Thursday, we were going to go to the Wagner game. So the kids would have a chance to get into the gym, go support another local team. But I told them, bring money, buy programs, get souvenirs, get all of that out of your system. That way Friday is a business trip.
For sure.
Well, as the week was going on, especially about Wednesday, when you started hearing of other things canceling, I kind of started talking to the guys about it, about things canceling, stuff changing, and kind of preparing them, but really even preparing myself for it. And then Thursday, like I said, we had the good practice, kind of a good shoot around, about an hour. And then we were going to meet back in the school at 5:45 to get on the bus to go down to the Dome to go watch Wagner play. And I'm sitting on my couch after practice, and I start getting texts from people at the 3A games with pictures of the scoreboard. And that's when I heard about it. We get and then it's not 5 minutes later, somebody from UIL calls me, our athletic director, our principal. In the space of about 10 minutes, everybody's calling me.
Yeah.
And that was brutal. That was just getting that notification, everything kind of at that moment, you realize, yeah, it's done. We're not playing. And even though you kind of saw that with NCAA and stuff like that happening, you're still hoping that we get a chance to play it somehow. And when that got suspended, even then I knew there's no way we're going to make these up. And so we still had our 5:45 meeting. I still had the kids come to school. And by then, when I talked to them, I put on the positives of why and trying to sell it. And it almost seemed like the kids were handling it better than I did. Like they kind of got it and had been around it and had some time to process it too. But yeah, it was like a gut punch originally when I first heard. And then now all these weeks later, again, it makes sense looking back at it. Still stings a little bit when I think about it, but it makes sense. It's just, when we first heard about it, that was not fun.
Hard to swallow. I mean, it's the right thing to do. It's the safe thing to do, but it's still tough to digest.
Yeah.
Well, we were just about to go do our little send-off. Parents were up there, the principals, they were doing all this with like cops and all this whatever. And so we were just about to get on the bus. And then my wife sent the picture to me. No, she called me first and she said, say it ain't so. I was like, what are you talking about? What I do now? But then she sent me a picture of, the scoreboard up there. I was like, what? So I called my AD and I was like, hey, did they cancel this or whatever else? He's like, I don't know. I was like, what? So nobody knew anything. And then I got the call from UIL, from Gorman, saying that, they're canceling the rest of it, whatever else, and this and that. But, my guys were fired up because at the shoot-around, here's what's crazy. At the shoot-around the night before, that one kid, I don't know his name, well, we're sitting up in the bleachers, and he walks by, and he starts talking trash. he's like, none of y'all ain't got no offers, no D1 offers. I was like, what? Like, who's this guy? And so our guys went to the restroom and they were sitting there. So then my prized possession says something real crazy to the kid. And like they're like getting in each other's face. So I had to send my assistants over there and this and that. So I mean, they were so amped up and excited to, have this rematch game and whatever else. But, when I went in there, I sat them down in the locker room and I told them, I was like, I don't know what to tell you. I was like, I don't know if we're going to do it or whatever else. And then, I had been talking to Gorman. Well, that Wednesday when I heard about the NBA, I called Gorman and I was like, hey, I was like, are we still doing this or not? And he said, no, we're going through with it. So I was like, okay, because, the kids were texting me, are we still playing or whatever else? So I called. My whole thing is when the NBA canceled their stuff and then when the NCAA did theirs, I knew that they were going to have to. So I don't know why I just didn't say, hey, we're not doing it, we're sorry or whatever else, because if those two big things are going to do it, well, you have to. There's no way you can get by but not doing it. So especially, I had 12 seniors.
I was at senior night. I was there at senior night, Rodney. It took about an hour for
Yeah, we're in the same boat. We had 8 seniors. And I tell you, the thing that upsets me the most is, one, we never even got to get into the dome. Our shoot around was Friday morning.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, we never even got in there, but just after everything got suspended, I actually asked UIL, I said, can our kids at least get programs? Can we get something? I hadn't heard anything. So we not only didn't get to play or go to the dome, our kids don't have their programs with their names in it. Obviously, we didn't get medals or anything. So I'm still – I know UIL still kind of in the back of their mind thinks that, maybe we'd get a chance to play this at least before today. But – at this point, I would just want some closure. Whether you say, all right, all 4 teams are state champs or all 4 teams get bronze medals, I don't care. But you figure those kids lost that chance to stand there on the court, win or lose, to get a medal over their head.
That's an opportunity of a lifetime that they're not going to get to experience.
Right. And so some type of closure at this point, I think, is important for UIL to do, rather than just at this point – I haven't heard anything from him other than Dr. Breidup's video he sent to everybody about wanting to play stuff, but nothing from then since the 12th when everything got suspended.
Yeah. And, it's just the experience, because I remember, when Cliff was there, we went twice, but like being the head coach that first year when we went, and just like the look on the kids' faces when, yes, we lost that last game or whatever else, but just the experience of getting to state as a player is amazing. Like, I never got there as a player. I never got to experience that. And, that is just, that's so much, yes, you want to win it all, but, if it doesn't happen, it'll happen. But just the experience of it is just so much more impactful. You get a better appreciation for, all the stuff that you've done this whole time, the hard practice, the tough games that, you might have barely won or you lost some tough ones and you still fought back to get there. Like, that is, to me, that's more important than the winning part, for the kids especially.
Well, like I said, the recognition, getting the programs with their names in it, everything like that.
Like how many?
I got to go there as an assistant coach in 2002 when I was at Roosevelt, and we played Dallas Lincoln, Chris Bosh, and a sold-out Frank Irwin Center. So I knew the atmosphere and what it was like, and I'd been building that up for our guys all season, and then gone. That's the tough part.
So, Coach,
obviously selfishly, I wanted to get there as a head coach.
Right. Yeah. No.
That's tough. Coach, you were with Gerlich at Roosevelt in 2002.
Yes, sir.
I was a senior in high school in McCullum. We played you guys in the regional tournament. A player on that team. I did not know you were an assistant on that team.
Yeah, and then we beat Sam Houston in the finals. We had split with them in district, and then we beat them in the finals to get to go.
That was fun.
In that semifinal game against Dallas Lincoln, I'll never forget it. You know, we're up 4 after the first quarter. It's a tie game at halftime. We're down 4 going into the fourth. Well, it's still a 4-point game with about 4 minutes to go. And I'm thinking, man, we got a shot at the upset. And they come out. They had called timeout. They come out of the timeout. They stopped pressing and went just straight half-court man. We couldn't score. Yeah, I wish they'd kept pressing as they stopped pressing, and now Chris Bosh is changing shots around the rim. The game ended on a 16-0 run. We lost by 20.
Whew, man, that was a heck of an adjustment on their end, I guess.
D1 players, I mean, and again, playing Duncanville, the number 1 team in state, but, you know, we were out-athleted in most of our games this year, and just because we had smart kids that could shoot, you know, I figured, hey, we got a shooter's chance, but nope, we'll never know.
Never know.
Yep. I was thinking about y'all too. I was like, Brandeis got a chance to beat those dudes, you know, especially if they can get in that game, if they can shoot how I've seen them shoot every game. Like, they got a decent shot to do it.
I'm watching video of Duncanville, and honestly, their style and everything they did was similar to Judson. And so I'm thinking we've got a shot, but, you know, because we could put 5 guys out on the floor plus a couple subs that could fill it up. So I wasn't worried about the offensive side. Now, I was trying to figure out how we were going to slow down Peavy and some of those other guys on the defense end. But, you know, sometimes I'll trade 3s for 2s along the way.
Yeah. Well, that's tough. It's tough. Your kids won't get to experience that whole atmosphere and the whole experience itself. What was it like growing up for you guys, as far as you guys come from families that had coaching backgrounds or educational backgrounds, or no?
I
did not.
In the military, my mom, she stayed home and she had her own in-home daycare. My dad coached us in like little league stuff.
Yeah.
Now, my dad was like an all-state, like football and basketball and track star at Gonzales High School. Nice. And what's really crazy is he had a chance to go, and I used to tease him once I got older and I knew I wouldn't get in trouble. He had a chance to go to USC to play football. Wow. And he chose not to. He wanted to stay close to his family because he had some family in Austin, his sisters and brothers. And so he went to Houston-Tillotson and played. And while he was there, he could have went and played for the Colts. No. But he chose to go to the military. And I used to tell him, I said, hey, thanks, guy. I was like, I could have had a totally different life. Like, but I appreciate it anyway.
You made life a lot more harder than it had, a lot more difficult than it had to be.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, a lot more difficult.
My parents, both of my parents were teachers, so I grew up being the typical rebellious kid, like, I'm not going to be a teacher, I'm not going to do that. And neither one were really into athletics. I played basketball, but I grew up on a street with about 5 of us all around the same grade, and we would play all the time. So played basketball in high school, and I was a very average high school basketball player. And probably the only thing that made me good is the fact that I was smart and could see the floor and understood the game, but just skill-wise, yeah, I would never play open gym with our guys that we have, not even counting for the age. But I graduated high school and I thought I'm going to be a computer science major. And after I spent about a year doing that, I thought I just don't fit in with these people. And that's when it went back to teaching and coaching, and then just been lucky to work with some good coaches along the way as I moved up through the ranks. But yeah, I don't have the normal background story of all these athletes in the family, or I was a star athlete. It was just kind of my love for the game was the biggest part of it, and then wanting to do it. But yeah, kids ask me all the time about, how I was in high school and playing. And it's funny, I graduated from Marshall, played for Terry Morris. So you guys that remember the Terry Morris ways. Yeah. So it was fun. when Bobby got the job at Marshall, he found an old scorebook with me in there, and he sent me a picture of it, and I'd scored 4 points. And I said, I think that might have been my career high.
Nice.
Yeah, I played at Judson first of all, when I was a sophomore at May varsity, I played for Coach Stevens, who I don't know who knows him, but then Wacker came in my junior year, so I got to play 2 years under him. And then I went to school, and played at Northwestern, but then after that, I didn't want to have anything to do with basketball. Like, I was, like, done because, like, in the summers, you would play AAU. I burned out. I was like, I don't want to do this no more. Like, I'm done. And so I tried, different majors or whatever else. Didn't get none of those done that I wanted. And then when I first got out, I was not even thinking anything about this. I was doing electronic stuff in Austin. And then when 2000 hit, everybody panicked like the world was going to end. So they started laying people off. And I said, I need to find something where it's more stable. And so I was like, you know what, teaching. And so I went and got my alternative certification and did that. But I didn't coach for my first 3 years. And I was at Zachary Middle School, my last year of middle school. So it was my third year. And the principal kept asking me if I wanted to coach. And I was like, no, because the boys over there used to have to go and scout for the football team.
Yeah.
And they would have to, that's when Del Rio was in. So like on a Thursday night, they'd be going to Del Rio and scouting. I was like, I'm not doing that. Like, no way. And so then he comes at the beginning of the next school year and he said, well, I got a girls position. And I was like, all right, I'll do it. So I did 8th grade B team girls, my first coaching gig. And I was like, you know what? It's not that bad because it brought back, some more competition for me or competitiveness, because I didn't play in none of those leagues. I wasn't doing all that. And so then I heard Wagner was opening, so I called over to Coach Arnold and I talked to him, and then he got me in touch with Cliff and we had the interview, and then it went from there. And then I started loving it again because I was like, you know what? It's my competitive edge that I need. And plus, like, after a while, you start hearing back from kids that graduated and whatever else, and they're so grateful about this. This is pretty cool. And so that's what it's just great to hear the old kids, say great things, because, like I even tell my kids, like, look, like, I'm not no Coach K or Popovich. I'm still learning a whole lot of stuff that I need. And so, like, all this stuff that you're getting, all these tournaments, like, I don't go to all these tournaments, do all this stuff for me. Like, it's for you. And you have to appreciate that. I'm spending all this time away from my little girl and all this other stuff. And, so I'm doing it because I've always wanted to work with kids, and now I get to. And so it's just that part of it is what's good for me. Now, don't get me wrong, I like to win, but if it doesn't happen, I've been in seasons where I didn't make playoffs and I've only won 15 games, and had some rough ones. So, it is what it is. But those kids are still learning, because for us, a lot of my kids, they don't have nobody telling them that they need to just suck it up and quit making excuses for all the stuff that's going on in their life and just get what they need to get done.
For sure. I see that. You do a good job with those guys.
That connection that you build with kids as a coach is so much more than as just a teacher. And that's one of the biggest things. And like you said, them being a part of something and learning how to handle adversity, being good representatives for their team and their school. I mean, so many things they learn from that. And that's really the most rewarding stuff. But I'm like you, I'm super competitive. I want to win every game. But big picture wise, it's the relationships that make the biggest difference.
For sure. And that was one of the, you guys just flowed right into it. That's one of the questions I was going to ask y'all. What have been some moments that made you realize, like, this is a lot more important than just trying to win games. Goes a lot deeper into the relationship. Do you guys have any particular stories that stick out in mind?
Well, this year obviously is going to be one that we'll tell for a long time. A couple years ago, I couldn't even remember the year at this point, but there was a real bad car accident during lunch at school where a couple students were killed.
I think I was at Mark at the time.
Yeah, and I remember that very next game, the way the kids kind of huddled up with the other team and moment of silence and everything. And it wasn't my idea. I didn't tell them to do it. They asked me if they could. And of course, I'm going to say, yeah, definitely. But the fact that it was led by the kids, that was one of those moments that stands out for me. Something where they understood the kind of the bigger picture that goes with things. And then afterwards, we actually had the conversation about how basketball and practices and games can be an escape from other stuff that's going on. And that one really stands out for me because that was a tough time in our community when that all happened.
Yeah, for me, I guess, let's see, my first year as the head coach, I had a kid that I had on JV. He was a senior. Well, after he graduated, he got into some stupid stuff, and he got arrested probably 3 or 4 years after he graduated for capital murder. And he got out, and he was out for a while. Probably about 2 months ago, I think he got sentenced to life without parole. But probably about a day or two before he got sentenced, he sent me a message on Facebook, and he's me as a coach, and even after he graduated as a friend, you know, he said, "I love you and I appreciate everything you've done." And that killed me. And it kind of changed the way that I looked at, you know, some of the kids that I was having difficulty with. So it kind of made me change the way that, you know, certain kids, you know, I have to look deeper, like, why are they being this kind of kid? You know what I'm saying? Like, is it because of me, because they don't like it, or is there something a lot deeper that they're dealing with? And so, you know, I started pulling him in and having private conversations with him and just talk to him about stuff. And he turned his whole attitude around about a lot of stuff. Like when we get on him, when his teammates say stuff, whatever else, and it kind of changed how he would react to things. Now, he ain't perfect and it didn't go away, but as regards to mine and his relationship, it changed. And so I think that for me was like a big turning point in my career so far, because now, you know, I started looking at kids individually like, okay, well, there's some kind of reason he's acting out. You know, he's doing this for a reason. It's deeper. And, you know, coming to find out, there's a lot more stuff going on than it wasn't the basketball stuff. You know, it was stuff that was happening at his house. And so, you know, I think that was one big thing. I tell you, the most special moment for me as a coach so far was when Deron hit that 3 against Westlake in the regional championship game. You know, having my nephew hit that shot to send us to state was like the most memorable, special moment for me. Nice. You know, I'll never forget that one.
I had a moment one time where this guy was a AAU coach for a lot of our neighborhood kids, and at the time a bunch of our kids played on his team, and I knew him well. We grew up at the same time, but he went to a different high school, and he died out of the blue, and so I knew a lot of our guys were really close to him, and we had practice the next morning, and one of the kids that plays for him showed up, and he just broke down. He was just devastated. He showed up about 30, 45 minutes before practice, and he was just devastated. And he kind of just came up to me and didn't say anything. He just hugged me, and I just kind of held him for a while, and I told him it was going to be okay. You know, but moments like that help you realize that obviously, you know, the relationship that we build is a lot more than just trying to win these games.
Yeah, definitely.
I appreciate you guys taking time. I don't want to take up your whole day. So we'll wrap this up. But before we go, Michael Jordan docuseries is coming out this Sunday. Starts this Sunday. What do y'all think about that?
You know what's really crazy is that I actually don't watch a whole lot of sports when I get home.
Yeah.
I try to get away from it, so I don't know. Like, I'll probably watch it now. I've watched like some great stuff, like documentary stuff and stuff like that, but I don't even know if I'm going to watch it. You know what I'm saying? I'm really tired of all this debate on who's the best and this and that. Like, everybody has their own opinion, so nobody's going to agree anytime. So it doesn't matter. I still think the best ever.
Well, Coach Clark, that actually makes me feel better that you said that because I thought I was the only one. I almost never watch basketball when I'm at home. Almost never. I'm a huge Spurs fan, so I watch the Spurs when they were in the playoffs. I don't watch a regular season. And honestly, I don't watch any college basketball until March Madness. I get so tired of a timeout every 4 minutes. It just kills me. There's no flow to the game. Yeah. I hate it. I thought it was just me. Now, I love college football on Saturdays. I watch college football. But, everybody's hyped over this Jordan documentary, and I'm thinking, he hadn't played in 17 years. Who cares? Yeah. I don't care.
I'm excited for it, but I'll say this. During the season, we don't have much time to watch anything on TV. Like, I don't watch any Spurs or anybody. It's hard. It's so hard to find time to even watch it.
Well, and a lot of people, don't understand our schedules in Northside, especially when I talk to coaches from across the state and everybody plays Tuesday, Friday night games. And I'm thinking, we don't do that. We have game nights 4 nights a week because our sub-varsities don't play at the same night. So it's 4 nights of the week are a game night for us. And so when I get home, I'm not turning on more basketball. And even if we're not playing, somebody in our district is, so I'm scouting. And I don't watch it when I get home. Like I said, I watched every Spurs playoff game in the heyday. Couldn't even tell you who won college championship last year. I guess it was Virginia. I do remember that because the Northside kid on the team. But other than that, no. So that makes me feel better, Rodney, because I thought I was the only guy that was like that.
I can't I watch a lot of ID and live PD. I watch all that kind of stuff. Like
all of that stuff.
I'm this serial killer stuff right now. I'm watching a lot of serial killer stuff. I don't know if that's good or bad in this quarantine time.
I've run out of stuff to binge watch. So.
Well, I appreciate you guys. Coach Gardner, congratulations on winning San Antonio Coach of the Year and your team earning the trip to the state tournament.
I appreciate it.
And Rodney, you guys, earning your trip to the state tournament. How many is that already total for you, Rodney?
If you count with Ellis, that would have been 5.
5?
Yeah, 3 as a head coach.
You guys are both doing a great job, and I appreciate you guys taking time out to talk to us.
I appreciate it. Enjoyed it. Thank you.
Sir, you guys have a good day.
You too. See y'all later.